Okay, so we made it to wherever this is. I think this is the James F. Martin Inn, the Martin Inn at the Matron Center. And flight was delayed, so I am not going to make it to literary trivia, but hopefully I'll make it to my reading on time tomorrow. I got these pork tacos from Soleil on the Green. I think it's called Soleil. It's fancy, these pork tacos. The person there said that, what did she say? She said if I got the tacos, which are just like an appetizer, it would be fine. She ate the two of them and she was full, and I wanted something light. So let's take a little tour of the room. Bathroom. Makeup removal. You're not going to be wearing makeup at this time. Oh, look at that. That actually looks incredible. Wow. Incredible and edible. Can you all hear the thunder outside? Oh, jeez. Wow. I'd buy these again.
Yeah, it seems like a much better system to have it go into a personal account.
Is it because we can't collect?
One time someone Venmoed me for a book at an event.
I'm not really sure.
And then one day I came in and I was like, Madison, I need to
I have some money.
pay for this book.
Yeah.
For shots. Heli sips. The bioengineer holds a hit of weed in his lungs and expertly diverts his cream liqueur the other way. It goes on like this for hours. To a city of blue tarps and back. I'm as limber as a newt when the sunset arrives with fiery streamers in her hair like everyone else. I feel a little flicker. when I see the nimble horses playing in the surf, but my finger itches for the trigger of the Joan. Good God, the BE says, staring down at the sun. He gets weepy watching the dozers park on the beach. The names of everything he's building start to pour out of his mouth. Fabular, Little Venice, Cable's Tables, Cable's Dive, the Blue Royale, the amenities, the sea walls, the sea towers, Sea Dragon roller coasters with rows of seats along their back. This might mean nothing to you, he says, but I'm looking straight into the tits of time. On the helipad, they're roasting small hairy pigs on a rebar spit. The BE is the man to meet. It's quitting time. It's time for work. Thanks, guys.
I do not believe you were trying to live forever. I think you were just trying not to sink. 7. You could not have known the immense value of your death. How once they found you on that beach, they would want your bones for a museum. How in order to get your bones, they would first need to empty you of everything. Take note for the next time you think about dying on dry land. First they make you hollow, then they make a profit. 8. More pictures. Pictures of the scientists cutting you open and plundering your organs. They took anything that might prove useful for their research, including your bumper car heart. Pictures of you being stuffed into a massive metal net and hung off a dock. Pictures of the cleaners that occupied your skeleton. Crabs, shrimp, sea stars, snails, worms, all varieties of fish. 9. For 1 full year, you neither sunk down nor moved forward. You floated in a net hung from a dock, the opposite of empty, a home for hungry, wandering others. 10. When they lifted you out of the water, all manners of squatters spilled across the dock. Out came the crustaceans and isopods who'd been living in your skull. Lodged along your vertebrae were not just barnacles and seaweed, but whole families of mussels, worms, and bryozoans. The last to crawl out were the pygmy rock crabs who had spent the better half of a year crashing in the curvature of your ribs. They scuttled like fugitives for the water, while you waited in the light of the morning sun, empty as ever, waiting for the experts to decide what would happen next. 11. Let me ask you this. After the wolves and after the scientists and after a year underwater bound in the net, did the warmth of the sun and the sound of so many voices grant you a certain faith in the future? I'm curious. I want to know how belief gets recovered in a place like this. I want to remember how to move. 12. The article ended with a link to a museum on Salt Spring Island. I clicked on the link and was delivered to a brightly colored advertisement. And there you were, suspended above a crowd of children and soaked in the blues and pinks and greens of many unseen spotlights. Font at the top read, "Actual whale skeleton." Children were smiling and pointing upwards in pure necrotic awe. A big red button appeared in the middle of my screen. It read, "Click here to buy tickets." 13. I thought about you all night, which was a strange kind of gift since I don't sleep the way I used to. At some point I stopped thinking about you and I started talking to you. I told you what I would give to set things right. I told you how even still it was a dumb move to come to a place like this to die. Finally I said if it's any consolation I would have done the same. Anything really not to sink.
Back in my day, there used to be water down here. Now, there's only whatever the water was hiding. Yeah.
It's just such a pain in the ass to siphon out the old shit, putting it in like a new carboy or something, or orange bottles. I want to get one of the ones that has just a spigot.
I made wine a million years ago, and I never did that. I just very carefully poured it out, trying to keep the yeast at the bottom. It was such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's annoying. I made a pretty decent apple mead and then a blueberry maple.
Oh man,
Blueberry maple?
Blueberry maple.
But I made a blackberry one, but it didn't turn out well at all.
Why?
It's just like,
Because
tons
they
of
said
money.
they came by here and thought it was really busy. And I was like, yeah. Okay, so were they coming
Sorry, there were some people who came out of the bar, and they were just, if you heard that, that was what.
Very loud.
Yeah, there.
That was like maybe teamwork. I'm joining people at the gas station. Yes. We got 23 left.
Okay, that's good. I can stop taking it personally. One more, and I think it's a new one. The World Cinema program at this school is so impressive to me, and those students are the most fun to be around. They're some of my favorite writers. Just reading the catalog inspires me. The other day they put on a screening of Dreyer's Passion of Joan of Arc, and I got a poem out of it. So that movie takes me out every time I watch it, but I think this time was the first time I came around to getting some language. Dreyer's The Passion of Joan of Arc, 1928. It can't store my pent fuse, restore, repent, recant, refuse, to be entirely construed of the density of shadow, cottonwood, coffee ring, cross of the morning. I will die by abuses of power, the climate catastrophe, political prison, unemployed, unhoused, assassinated altogether by plunder, preventable illnesses, and cuts to PrEP and public health programs. Pick any stake, any arrow, any conspirator, colleagues who have faith in their safety, their state of grace. Men walk fully clothed out of holes in the day. Men walk out of holes in the day, hungry for the hunger of Palestine. Starve the migrants of asylum, starve the American ex-immigrant of any thought about it. Men with bottomless pockets burn holes in the day, and our presence, brilliance, empathy, energy dissolve in the abysses of business. Inboxes, outstanding balances, book deals, the animation of enumerating departmental policies. Jesus, Jesus. Our mirror is our. It was 15th century France. But I'm black and remember power is time, is money, in my genre of horror. Men mirror men hoarding money like stomachs in time. She was 19. What we sometimes mean by immortality is hide whatever inside you survives. Souls fly by like minutes. In this mass extinction of winged things, hide it, don't sing, do nothing, hide it now. Thank you.
Blue lighting. Welcome to the rave. It's interesting because we're at the last day of this, and I don't know how I feel yet.
I'll do it if you do it. And I'll read one of your poems if you read one of my poems. And I missed Dustin's reading yesterday, so this feels like I'm getting a little bit of that. The username that came to mind was a live journal thing, but I'm not going to dox myself, because I'm sure it's still out there somewhere. But my first email, I was really into the band Kid Dynamite, which is a hardcore band. But that was taken, and so was Dynamite Kid. So I became Dynamite Kid with Candy at yahoo.com. I don't know what the fuck that means. Things I've thought, things I do. Your brother is as strong as an ox. There were always people telling me that. I think maybe because I was short, still taller than he was, and skinny, or at least it seemed because of the clothes I wore. His body was bulky, no fat to be seen, and everyone stood in awe of its feats. Without breaking, he could clap a boulder to dust, but I didn't mind being invisible for being a mystery, didn't mind receiving the intel as a kind of disbelief. They were unwilling to look at both of our faces. Without heroics, what strength does it take to walk willingly, for one's mind to be so clouded by other pains, fire becomes a best rescue? I don't like to, but when I think about it, my brother and I had done the same thing. He walked out of our house into hell's engulfing to get away from voices he couldn't quell, but being the only one left in the house, the only thing I could see he got away from was me. Had I listened to the people my brother shared his life with, the people volunteering to tell me who he was, I might have believed hell couldn't ravage my brother's body. Brother, who in your life would you walk through fire for? The thought of asking that question used to bother me, having to listen to a list that didn't include me, or thinking the one name you'd say wouldn't be mine. If you asked me, I don't think anyone would come to mind, at least not anyone on the outside. I considered that a failure in my life. Where we stood was already burning. Brother, I never thought my answer would be you. I'm not disappointed like I thought I'd be.
Garage to break my 20. $30 for 3 fucking hours? Jonathan has the easy pass. I drive to I-89. Thanks, Eisenhower. It's cold. I hand the toll taker a 5. Out of my 5, and here's 1, 2, 3, 4. She replies and fans the bills like a pit boss or a magician. Perfume and cigarettes, like at a strip club. I sniff. I put them on the console. The window of the BMW sticks. It shudders up so slow. God damn, I'm cold. Skip the stop at Hooksett liquor store. It's not cider donut season anymore.